What was the Middle Passage like? Have you ever wondered what it was like for millions of Africans during the Middle Passage? This journey was a key part of the Atlantic slave trade, which significantly shaped capitalism in Europe and the Americas. The Middle Passage involved the forced transportation of enslaved Africans across the Atlantic Ocean to work in the New World. This was part of a larger economic system known as the triangular trade. In this system, goods were exchanged between Europe, Africa, and the Americas. The triangular trade had three main legs. First, goods like guns, ammunition, and cloth were shipped from Europe to Africa. Next, enslaved Africans were transported from Africa to the Americas. Finally, raw materials produced by slave labor, such as sugar, cotton, and tobacco, were sent back to Europe. Conditions on the Middle Passage were horrific. Ships were overcrowded, leading to the spread of diseases and high mortality rates. It is estimated that up to 19% of the enslaved individuals died during the voyage. The physical and psychological abuse was severe. Enslaved people often faced violence and were shackled to prevent any attempts at rebellion. Despite these harsh realities, some Africans formed bonds of kinship during the journey. These connections later contributed to the creation of transatlantic communities. The Middle Passage was not just a tragic event, it also played a significant role in the economic landscape of the time. The economic impact of the Middle Passage was immense. It was a key mechanism for accumulating wealth in the early stages of capitalism. The exploitation of slave labor allowed for the production of goods that fueled economic growth in Europe and the Americas. The demand for enslaved people and the goods they produced drove market dynamics, influencing trade routes and economic policies. The labor provided by the Middle Passage was essential for producing commodities central to the growth of capitalism. The exploitation of enslaved people allowed for the mass production of goods like sugar and cotton. The wealth generated from the slave trade and the products of slave labor significantly contributed to the economic development of European nations and the Americas. From a capitalist perspective, the Middle Passage illustrates how economic systems can exploit human labor for profit. It highlights the role of human exploitation in wealth accumulation and the development of global trade systems. While the Middle Passage was morally unacceptable, it was a critical component of the economic machinery that fueled the rise of capitalism in Europe and the Americas.